Most of us are familiar with my favorite, most powerful word in the English language, surrender. And a lot of the time we can just over-fixate on, am I doing it right? Remember, one of the two most powerful beliefs I would invite you to take on, one is you can't get it wrong. And the other is you can't run out of time. Why? Because you can't run out of now. Again, two areas of dysfunction that essentially screw people over. One is the area of self-image, and from that side, the other is relationship to time. So when it comes to overthinking the emotions that we're trying to essentially let go of, if you focus on something, remember, energy goes where attention flows. So if you are placing your attention on something, now what is the word attention mean? Who are you, ladies and gentlemen? Because we know we're not our name, because we didn't get that until after we were born, and we didn't even choose it. So it's not who we are. It's a verbalization that we identify ourselves with. But what are we identifying? Ever thought of that question? Ooh. What we're actually identifying is our awareness. And again, awareness is a word, a verbalization that allows us to try to take something that is an intellectual construct and apply it to a sense of being. That's why I should never get really hung up on the word. So, when it comes to where do you put your attention, and are we repressing emotions if we look away from them? There's a difference between ignoring or suppressing emotions and not being controlled by them. This is where, anyone ever read the book The Power of Now? Put Eckhart Tolle on the map. And one of the concepts that was so revelatory for so many people that read that book was the whole concept of the witnessing consciousness, which means that I am not my thoughts. Shocker. No, you're not your thoughts. You are a conduit for the thinking process. But where do you think thoughts come from? Ooh, because if you think that you think your thoughts, you may have to have a different thought about who thinks your thoughts. So thoughts are almost a bit like that. It's music that's constantly playing depending on which station you're tuned into. You can unplug the radio and have very little thoughts. That's what we try to do with meditation a lot of the time, for passive meditation, or at least turn the volume down on the radio. We can choose to go to a station, let's say Radio Angry. And when we're tuned into Radio Angry, we are going to have angry thoughts playing through our head, and thoughts that are very similar in resonance to each other. Different songs, same genre. You tune into classical, you're not going to hear the same song all the time, but it's the same genre. You tune into Radio Anger, you're going to hear the same themed songs, and they're going to come up as different thoughts, but in the same thing. You tune into Radio Joy, Radio Gratitude, you're going to have those thoughts pop up in your brain, which are not popping up in your brain. Your brain is a radio receiver, a tuning and receiving station for the vibration of thought, to quote Napoleon Hill. So it's not ignoring thoughts. If you are having radio anxiety playing its volume right now, and you don't like that, then the first key is to disassociate and make the distinction between you and the music. In NLP, you'll hear the term, the map is not the territory. In this context, you are not your thoughts. But if your thoughts are playing through you and you're vibrating at an anxious rate, that isn't you, that is you reacting to the thoughts you're tuned into. So when you know that it's not your thoughts, just like it isn't your arm, it's an arm that your body's connected to that you can move around with your consciousness. But you don't own it, just like you don't own anything else. Oh, now I'm stretching the minds a little. Are you kidding? I work so hard, my ass off, to own my own home, right? Well, guess what? Never seen a hearse with the roof rack, right? Everything you think you own, you are a current custodian of in this particular movie. And when you have that as a relationship to it, you can tend to let go of the anxiety about losing stuff, or think you need to hoard stuff or keep stuff. You don't own anything. I have a new place here in Tenerife, and it's got quite a large garden. And it's actually caught myself saying the other day, wow, I can't believe I own 35 palm trees. And Nadia immediately picked me up on that. She's like, you don't own it. I'm like, of course I don't own it. Right? Do you think the tree knows who owns it? No. I just get to look after it while I'm here. And I'm grateful for the people that looked after it before I was here. And I hope that, if that tree outlives me, which it might do, then I'm going to be grateful for the people that look after it after I'm here. But nobody owns the tree. Follow? You don't own your car. You don't own your house. You have currently earned the right to be a custodian of it, which also gives you more choices. I can choose to climb the tree, right? You get the idea. So when you are placing your attention on the emotion, if you're allowing the emotion to own you because you're identifying with it, that's going to be a problem. But you are not, the emotion isn't you, and you aren't the emotion, right? So understanding that you're not going to fall downhill by saying, oh, am I repressing it because I'm ignoring it? Well, no, if you allow yourself to feel an emotion, as we know, straight talk 10, it can only last 60 to 90 seconds if it's unresisted. Now, what does the term unresisting at that context mean specifically? It means don't identify with it. And then the biochemistry will have completed its cycle and you'll suddenly feel normal. Now, people that are trained to be victims, that have conditioned themselves to be victims, don't like that. They don't want to have any, no problems. In fact, if their enemy dies, they get upset. They've got to find somebody else to bitch about. And so, I'm not talking to those people. But when it comes to you saying, where do I put my focus? Just tune into a radio station that you want to listen to, because you do have that free will. Are there other factors involved? Yes, environment beats will. If everybody around you is listening to radio, My Life Sucks, it's pretty hard to hear your own music. So peer group is a huge part of that, as I say. If you're constantly being programmed, which you are, but if you're constantly being programmed by other people, i.e. mainstream, lamestream media, you understand there's an agenda. If two fighters get in the ring, they're constantly trying pre-fight to intimidate each other. Have you seen that? It's a phenomenon in sports. It's a psychological trick. They will try to intimidate each other. Why? Because it gives them the edge in the ring if one of them is more afraid of the other, or more wound up and therefore not thinking on reflex. They're trying to, they're too crowded with anger, etc. So when you get in the ring with the media, its job is to try to intimidate you. Its job is to try to make you scared. Why? Because that's its job. And if you don't know how to protect yourself, or if you don't know how to be bigger than that, it's going to be a problem. It's going to affect you. This is why I say to people, guess what? When it comes to fighting the media, you don't have to step in the ring. Turn the damn thing off.